What is going on, guys? Happy New Year and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the Evo, and first and foremost I wanted to show you, it's been a while since I posted anything, but this is the first time you guys are seeing the valve cover in natural lighting, and I think it looks pretty good. I like it. I'm over that period where you're kind of like, you don't know which way to go. I think it looks good. But today we're going to be addressing some things on the Evo. I did want to point out an elephant in the room. I don't know if you guys would be able to tell, but I did do somewhat of a wire tuck. I had plans to make a video on it. I actually started making a video on it, but that process was actually very painful, and I didn't feel like I was doing it properly. At the end of the day, the end result, it got completed, but I just didn't want to mislead anybody, and I hope you guys can respect that. It got to a point where it was so frustrating because things are just not going the way that I thought they would. So I ended up just putting the camera down and just focusing on the thing. I'll talk a little bit more about the wire tuck for those that are interested at the end of this video, so that way you guys that just want to see today's video can just watch what you want to see. But today we're going to be adding some things to the engine bay. I do have some things inside I'll show you here shortly. First, I'm going to go ahead and get this engine bay cleaned up. Seems like it's a never-ending thing with these cars. All right, guys, first things first, like I told you, we're going to be replacing this harness, which is the one I had from the spool and up kit, to the JDC hideaway harness. I'm going to try one more time to tuck this. Like I told you, I do have a video. Shout out to the homie Brad. I'll put his Insta down below so you guys know what I'm talking about. So we're going to be doing that. And then additionally, I'm going to be swapping these decals. I got some JDC ones that I'm going to go ahead and put on there. So that's that. Going to be getting rid of those AN fitting things on for the catch can. So that's what these are for. These are a pain in the ass to find. Next up, we have an oil cap. So originally I'm not sponsored by these guys. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but JDC accidentally sent me the wrong oil cap. I guess they were paying a little too much attention, and they saw that I had an Evo 9, so they sent me an Evo 9. However, this new valve cover utilizes a Honda / Evo 10 style oil cap. Bolts that we're going to be adding, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's on the valve cover, so that's that. Also, some more bolts right here. Next up, I have this custom badge for the intake manifold. So as you can tell, this is pretty much, it's for the Skunk 2 one, but it's not only is it titanium, they also added the JDC right there. Pretty cool. I've been eyeballing this for a while. I didn't think it was like necessary, but now that I did the wire tuck, I think this is gonna look really good. So that's gonna be added. And then last but not least, with the new valve cover, I am not able to run this plate anymore. And it sucks too, because I really like this thing. I was trying to find different options. I was even thinking about modifying this somehow to make it fit, but at the end of the day, it's not really worth it, and I could potentially damage the valve cover. So what I ended up doing is I hit up the guys at JDC, and we ended up making a mini version of this. So check this out. So instead of the plate, I'm just gonna utilize a badge. And one of the cool things about this is you guys aren't gonna believe this, but I ended up finding the font of the valve cover, how it says Evolution, and this is the actual font. So it should look pretty good with that. And ironically, you're not gonna believe the name of this. It's actually called Bitsumishi. So the B and the M are flopped, and that's the actual name. How ironic is that? But I think this is pretty cool. Guys, ran into my first problem. So here's the issue so far. I'm only able to get this AN adapter about that much in before I have to force it in. And after hitting up Rodney and discussing it with him, he thinks that they're two different types of threads. All right, so here's the issue with the oil cap now. So it's on there, but it's metal on metal. You guys notice that the little O-ring? It's obviously not doing anything. So I don't think this will be an issue. Maybe I can find some sort of O-ring that I can maybe fit right here. And that way, as it closes, it'll just hit that. And that'll ensure that. So I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with that. Guys, so I'm running out of daylight, unfortunately, thanks to daylight savings, but this is where we currently sit. I'm gonna hit them up about the things over there. These bolts that I have that I showed you earlier, these are for right here, so I'm gonna get these installed real quick, and then I'm probably gonna wait to install the batch till tomorrow because I need full concentration when I'm doing stuff like that. Otherwise my OCD will kill me. But pretty neat so far with this. I haven't started the car yet. Hopefully everything works, but pretty neat with this, with the hideaway, is that you can tuck it back there. And now that I have that wire tuck going, it actually ends up meeting up back here. So this is pretty cool. So that's one less wire removed from here. I know some of you guys are gonna ask, hey, how come you haven't tucked these? So here's the problem with this. Unfortunately, because the setup that I'm running, the O2 sensor, oh, there it is. I don't know if you guys can see that, but unfortunately, it's like nearly impossible to get in there without either removing the wastegate or the power steering pump. So I am going to be switching over to Haltech soon, and I'm obviously using their wideband, so it wouldn't make sense for me to do all that work and then do it again later on. So I'm going to wait until we install the Haltech.
2,000 years later.
Finally, we can finally wrap up this video, guys. At least I hope. So I've been waiting like 2 weeks for this stuff to get here. So first things first, this ended up being the wrong thread pitch. So I didn't even know this. I didn't know threads were this complicated, but I think we ended up getting the right ones. Which this is a AN10, and it's very close to this. This is an M22 by 1.5, and apparently that's the pitch that fits that. So we're getting ready to install these. It's a little bit different in style though, so I hope nothing crazy. All right, here we are. And actually, now that I have them side by side, it shouldn't be much difference in clearance. They're about the same. I don't know, for some reason these look taller. But I was worried about clearance with the hood, but I think we'll be just fine. So I got these both from Racetronics, and it seems like these guys are the only ones that make these types of parts. And these were, I want to say like 30 bucks for 2 of them. But I actually got these last week. What I've been waiting on is this freaking cap, man. This thing took 2 weeks to get here. I got it from eBay, nothing special, nothing crazy. I just couldn't make up my mind with the cap for this. So the JDC that I had, the titanium one, I returned it, and they were nice enough to refund me the money. So I appreciate that. I'm not sponsored by these guys, but they stand by their products. And honestly, anytime I've ever had any issues with JDC, they always come through. So shout out to JDC. I just couldn't make up my mind. Not only did I not like the way the JDC one looked, because it just looked so small, but it didn't fit right because it's for an Evo 10 valve cover and not for a Honda style, which that's what this is. But I do have, so this is a cap that I really loved. This is obviously for the old setup. This is an HKS cap. I was actually on a waiting list for a while to get one of these because they're so rare. There is one for sale that I can get. I just don't think it's worth the money, honestly. All right, so this one's obviously a Mugen replica. It's nothing crazy. It's like 12 bucks on eBay. Worst case scenario, if I change my mind later on, I'll just throw this on the Civic. Let's get this installed, and hopefully it seats just fine. It looks like it does overall. So you guys let me know what you think about the oil cap. Looks all right, nothing crazy. I do like the size of this compared to this one and the JDC one that I had. But like I was saying, I have an HKS one for the old setup, and I'm just gonna go ahead and mock this up. So I'm just gonna mock it like that. What do you guys think? Does it suit this setup? I don't know, because I can get another one. There is one for sale, but I just don't know if it's worth it, because it's like 200 bucks. All right, guys, so here is obviously the new setup, and this is the old one. I think it looks a lot sleeker. It does sit higher, so hopefully we don't have issues with clearance with the hood. But let's get the other one in, and then I'll go ahead and test it with the hood. Double check the hood, and it doesn't seem to be touching, so we are good. I am gonna have to cut the line over here. Obviously it's too long because this used to be back here, and that's why it's longer. I don't think I'm gonna do that today. Maybe not, we'll see. Last thing we need to do is install this badge right over here. All right, guys, let me know what you think. I think it's on there pretty straight. I think it looks good, man. It really does, especially from like this angle with the manifold color. I've never seen anybody do something like this, not this custom, but I'm digging that. But that's pretty much it for everything, guys. Let me get the strut tower bar on there so you guys can see the whole thing with everything on. But all right, guys, here we are. Got the strut tower bar back on. As crazy as it sounds, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think it might actually look better without it.
You need to leave.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't know how I'll feel about that statement here in the next couple days, but let me know what you guys think. This is gonna wrap it up for this part of the video. If you wanna hear about my wire tuck experience, go ahead and stick around and I'll explain that after this. Take it easy, I'm out, peace. All right, guys, so for those that want to stick around and hear my wire tuck experience and how shitty it was overall, in my opinion at least, this is for you. So to start this off, I was only going to go ahead and do a wire tuck up top and just clean up there used to be a loom of wires that used to sit up there, and it used to hook up to the old valve cover like that. And I ended up just wanting to do that portion and then maybe tucking in the map sensor back here. There's a knock sensor back there and a couple other ones over here. However, once I got to where the loom was, right about here, I noticed I wouldn't have enough slack to have the map sensor go back there. So I asked a couple people, hey, you've done this right, how far did you go? And they all said they went back here. I checked out a couple different resources, a couple different videos and stuff, and they didn't really explain too much. There was a how-to on Evo M. However, they were suggesting that I cut 2 wires. If I were to cut 2 specific wires, one for the thermostat housing and then another one for, I believe it was one of these sensors. So the thing about it is I couldn't tell if the guy had an Evo 8 or Evo 9, so I assumed it was an 8. And both of these have the same wire that he was referring to. So I ended up cutting the thermostat one. However, and this is something I contemplated for like 2 days because I didn't want to cut any wires at all. I do not do wires, guys. And having to cut wires and solder and all that stuff, that's not me. So I ended up giving it a shot. So I cut one, and then I realized that it didn't really do much. So I said, there's no way this other wire is going to clear up all this stuff. So all these wires are actually tangled amongst each other. You could actually see some of it right here because most of these connectors have 3 to 4 wires each. And you would think once you get down to the back over here that things would just separate on their own, and it's not like that at all. They're all tangled. So I would essentially have to cut multiple wires in order to have them all run freely. So eventually, I actually considered doing that, but then I said, screw it, I'm not gonna do that. And then I put the camera down because I was that frustrated. And I ended up just saying, screw it. And I just loomed it back up and did the best that I could routing the stuff this way. My biggest regret is honestly having to mess with the ones that are over here because these are all loomed up real nice and pretty. And I had to break that in order to untangle the ones that I could, if that makes sense. But overall, I guess it's not too bad. I do not like this setup that I have going on back here. I'll see if I can maybe clean it up in the future, but I honestly don't think it's gonna get any better than that. On the flip side, it did clean up this portion of the engine bay really well, so I'm really happy about that. Really happy, like to the point where I almost want to take the strut bar off just to show it off, because the strut bar used to hide that stuff before, and now it's not there. It actually looks pretty clean without it. But that's basically it. I do apologize for those that wanted a how-to. I did not feel confident, and I don't want to mislead anybody. And that's one of the things that I try to be on this channel, is I try to be as raw and honest as I possibly can. Some things are good, some things are bad. A lot of YouTubers do this thing where they mislead people because they basically make everything look so easy. And these guys got, they got shops and they got professionals helping them at all times, and that can be misleading for the average person. So I didn't feel comfortable giving that information out to you guys if I had a hard time with it, which I did. So that's my reason. Hopefully you guys can understand. But that's basically it with the wire tuck. My advice to you, if you are going to do this, is to take your time, and before you start just tearing into there, like really consider what is it that you want to do. For those that have the stock manifold, things will be a little bit easier for you, just because these holes in between the runners are a lot wider, so you can actually fit the injector wires through there. I'm not sure if you're still going to have enough length with the map sensor. That's the problem child for me. That's the reason why I had to go all the way back there. But it's all said and done now, so it is what it is. If you have any comments, concerns, anything at all, drop them in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. We got more stuff for the Evo. Take it easy, guys. I'm out. Peace.